Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. And today I'm joined once again by Marc. How are you, sir?
Good, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, very well. So, we're talking Seiko.
Very exciting.
Seiko.
A lot of Seiko in my life.
How have you been?
Good, doing good, yeah.
Good.
Haven't been here in a while.
I know, last time was November of last year.
7 months.
That's crazy.
It is, time flies.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Philadelphia though still looks the same. I'm
exactly the same, yeah.
A couple people laying on the street this morning when I walked. It was just, you know, brings me back to New York and then San Francisco and everywhere else I've been lately. So
Nice, good old feeling.
a piece of home.
Yeah, nice. But
I think there was one of those guys last night when I drove in.
Yeah?
Literally standing in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, because I'm trying to follow my map.
Right.
And I could have just, I think Vine Street, I think, was where I got off, and I could have just totally clipped him.
Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Anyway,
you're here safely and
I am.
without harming anyone. Let's do
wrist check. So we'll start with this one. This is my Seiko Orange Monster.
The famous Monster.
Yeah, this is my Gen 2. But since the focus of today's video, at least my dissertation is about the watch,
right.
I figured why not wear it. And then on my other wrist, I don't know if you've seen this. Actually,
only online.
Oh no, yeah, most people haven't seen these. This is the Islander Calabro. It's our first GMT with an NH34. This will be out by the time this video gets released for sure.
Nice.
But yeah.
That's gorgeous. Love the case.
Thank you. It's a 40mm, very cozy.
Yeah.
Little aviation and a little dive smashed together. Totally dig it. Oh, and then this Long Island is on the bezel instead of New York for world time.
Oh, now that is pure class.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
it's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll get some B-roll of that later, definitely.
How about you?
Well, I'm wearing my vintage Omega Seamaster. This is from 1956, so just before the trilogy, in-house caliber 500, which is the same movement that they then put into the very first Seamaster diver in what was it, 1957? Yeah, and it's on a Nizza.
I love that strap.
Yeah, this is the Nizza. This is one of my favorite straps.
Nizza is a brand?
No, sorry, Fluco.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Nizza.
Oh, okay.
Strange
I have
name.
no idea. I'm not a really strap
anyone
guy.
know what Nizza means? N-I-Z-Z-A.
But almost like a burgundy-ish velour.
Works with the gold.
It does. It's really nice. I like it.
It's like luxurious, but not like flashy.
Yeah. I looked at the strap before I looked at the watch.
Really?
Yeah, it was really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Contrasts nicely.
Nice, thank you. What are we talking about today?
Something to do with Seiko. Are they the best still under 500 bucks? Yada, 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 and some history.
Exactly.
It's gonna be fun.
I wanted to do this video because so much has changed with Seiko.
Sure.
Obviously, everyone's already I've talked to death about the price hikes.
Yep.
I think it makes sense where they're going, but it's left a kind of void that I feel a lot of the micro brands are now filling nicely.
Sure.
Yourself included.
Yeah.
We could talk about Orient, we could talk about Citizen maybe, but who is king at this price level now?
At the under 500?
Yeah.
Pro specs have traveled north of 500 at this point.
Yeah.
But I would say that they've kind of, well, this is Seiko, they've kind of filled in underneath. They brought out all the Seiko 5s, the new 5s, and now the new 38mm Seiko 5s came out. They have all the dress KX kind of watches, and that whole niche now has kind of filled up that void where when Prospex and Presage were kind of, well, Presage was kind of always elevated, but when Prospex got elevated, I feel like they filled it in. So is Seiko still king? Yeah, I'm a fanboy, I guess. I really do dig the brand, so I still think, for under 500 bucks, I feel like they offer so much. Obviously, Citizen, tremendous as well in everything they offer, and I feel like Seiko maybe started to eat some of their lunch, and now Citizen has countered with offering more in the automatic diver arena. But yeah, I'm still on board with Seiko at the under 5.
Nice. I have to agree. It would be my first stop. I would add, like you mentioned, I think Citizen are definitely kind of stepping up their game a bit, and especially with their automatic divers.
Yeah.
And their what do they call ProMaster? That was it.
Yeah.
ProMaster. We've talked about this before. Huge following in Italy. I never understood why, but they do. Probably because of that Marina Militare situation. Yeah. Because if you don't know, they supplied them. Today, the whole point of today was we pick our favorite Seiko under $500.
Yeah.
And yours is the Monster.
Mine is the Monster, yeah. So
you brought two?
I brought two. So this is my Gen. So like I said, so Where do you want to go? So this is a Gen 2. Gen 1s, which you can tell by they have the rectangular markers at the minutes instead of the teeth. And then they have the 5, 10, 15, 20 spelled out at the inner where the shark tooth is pointing.
Ah, okay.
A lot of people don't kind of remember that, or it's one of those things that's like, I've seen you 1,000 times.
Yeah, hold on one second. I got the Seiko book.
I've seen you 1,000 times. I never knew you wore a hat every time. You're like, yeah, I've always worn this hat.
Right.
So yeah, it's it's hidden in plain sight.
Here we go. Here we go.
Look at this guy.
Perfect. There we go.
Greek mythology, he's got it. Watches, he's got it.
Biography of Napoleon, got it.
Really?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. What year was that? Well, 96.
7S 26 driven, following on, I guess, on the heels of the SKX, if you will.
Right.
So the SKX was one of the, was the SKX the first 7S 26 diver? It very well may have been in the evolution of divers.
You can get these on eBay. They're really, really good. Just for pictures, and some of it is in English, but it's just great for like schematics, and they do put the year date in English, which is pretty cool.
All right, so Gen 1 released in 2000, called the Monster because it kind of looked like a monster.
Yeah.
You know, the
fans named it.
The fans named it the Monster. A little tuna-esque-ish on the shroud, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, I like to think of a monster because of almost like size and just heft and everything. That's kind
So
of
it looks like a Jaws of a...
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, it's like it's going to gobble you up.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah, they came out with a black and an orange. SKX 779, SKX 781, K1 on steel, K3 on rubber. Retailed for mid-2s or so? About that? Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Maybe even high 1s if you were going overseas to buy them.
How times changed.
How times have changed. So that was powered by the 7S26, and then fast forward, I don't know, like 7, 8 years, the 4R36 comes out, and that's Gen 2.
Right.
And that's the, you know, it's almost like when Rolex went from the Zenith to the in-house, they changed the markers on the Daytona. So here, they just changed the markers. You could never tell unless you look at the dial what version it is. They're exactly the same bracelet. Same everything.
What is it that makes you pick that beyond all other?
Well, I just feel like it is, in the evolution of Seiko divers, going, you know, 7548, 6009, all those coming all the way up, and then up to the 7S26, which is the SKX. This is like an anomaly. It just jumps in, and it's lived through, we're 23 years now, and to a later Gen 4, I think they're up to. All they've done really, they play with the markers, but the case...
And this is where we're at now,
This is where we're at now.
Right.
The case is still the same. They added a candy bar over the day date, which I abhor, and most people do. I don't like it. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But whereas all these other divers have evolved in their styles and shapes and designs. Even the tuna, even though it's still a tuna can, the overall aesthetic has changed. To me, it's still the same freaking watch 23 years later. They haven't done a thing to it. You know, they killed off the SKX. Gone. It's not going to come back.
Right.
It lives now through the...
Kind of lives vicariously in the
form
of
the 5KX. But now all different styles and colors and this and that, and they changed the case. And you wouldn't know that these are 23 years apart.
That's a very good point.
It's insane.
Wow, that dial is stunning, man.
Oh, no, this is, which one did I pick for you? This is, those are penguins swimming on the left. You can see them embossed.
Oh, yeah,
if you
move the light.
Screw with the light.
Isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah, those hands are so, everything is so
monster
aggressive,
hands. Wait, so monster hands haven't changed. They're called monster hands.
Because it came out with the Monster?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these hands were designed for this watch.
Yeah.
I don't think these hands are on other watches. So that, to me, it's got so much longevity that, to me, it's almost a defining watch for the brand.
Right.
You know, bold, different, just totally, it doesn't look like an SKX.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything. Even the bracelet doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
And the bracelet still survives. Everything.
It's interesting you've picked this because when I talk about my choice, which is, everyone knows what it's going to be, but I feel like Seiko were taking more risks. They were doing more daring stuff. They would just, you know, they'd make daintiest, thinnest little dress watch here, and then they do some crazy stuff.
Something totally on the other side of the spectrum.
Exactly, and I don't know, adventurous, more willing to take risks. I think that's...
Risks are a big thing.
Yeah.
This was a risk, in my opinion. Total risk for them.
Yeah.
Big risk, but it's got its own fan base. Well, this watch has a story. I think I've definitely told the story on the channel. So. Yeah, this was a November 2013 is the serial number. It was purchased in like 2014. Customer in Florida got totally irate over it like 6 months after he owned it. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but he brought it into a jeweler and the jeweler told him it's a Fugazi fake.
Right.
And he got sue me. He wanted to sue me in small claims court. You're gonna have to come down to Florida and represent you. I said, dude, just send me back the watch. I'll give you back your money 6 months later.
Are there actually fake monsters out there that exist?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's fake everything at this point, and there's fake F91s.
Oh yeah.
There's fake everything, dude.
That's true.
You know, you can go to Amazon and you can look up Casio G-Shock, and you'll see a watch
we talked about that. Yeah,
it looks so much like a G-Shock, but it's like Soligalo.
Yeah, or G. Yeah, it would be like G something.
yeah. G money.
G.
Yeah. So everything is. But 10 years ago, were these being ripped? Not really. But yeah, so I love it. It means a lot to me as a seller. This was. Oh boy, so this is not long after I started selling SKXs, I started selling these. So it's been with me for a long time. So kind of.
And you really wear that at the beach.
Yeah, I actually changed it to a bracelet. Put the bracelet back on just for this video because I usually wear it with an orange rubber strap.
I remember, yeah.
Or I also have a black and orange single pass nylon that I wear it on.
Nice.
But I put it on the bracelet just to. Well, actually, this is not a Seiko bracelet. This is off of one of my monster homages because it's got screws instead of pins and collars.
Right, of
so
course.
Sizing it's so much easier.
What things do you not like about the Monster?
Oof, there's not much. When you turn the bezel,
oh, is it not?
You can catch your finger on the shroud. So that's like
not clicking, or is that? It's just very quiet.
It is quiet.
Ah, wow. Okay.
The Monster is a quiet clicker. It's not like an SKX or even. This is a little bit better, but don't forget this is very old.
Yeah, right.
But this is kind of very soft, very smooth. But you definitely feel the clicks when you rotate it. What do I not like about it? There's really not much. There really isn't. I just love it. I love it. I love the color. It goes down into a hole that I'm digging in sand. You know, rinse it off when I'm done, and it lives to see another day. Yeah, there's not much.
And orange, obviously, because it's one of the most visible colors underwater.
Yeah, killer. After Gen 2, they stopped making orange.
Interesting.
Which is like.
So do you think that's collectible now? Must be.
If somebody wants it, it's collectible.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. But you know, like the SKX, you know, people still pine after online.
Yeah.
You know, $600-700 they'll spend.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a big aftermarket for these yet.
I think I had the same kind of infatuation with the SKX. I get it. Seiko, especially divers, for some reason, really attract kind of like little cult niche followings.
Big time. Yeah.
You know, like I saw this guy who collected. He just had a whole bunch of Willards. For some reason,
Loved them.
Yeah.
Love Willards.
I always thought that's a strange watch from afar. Borrowed one to review, and then I almost bought it. You know.
Okay. To me, it's like a fat turtle.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I consider it.
There's something there, and I get it, and that's what I mean is that when you don't take risks, it's usually the divisive watches like Panerai, right? Like Panerai is a brand that I never was really into, didn't understand why they were so big, and then I got one, and then I got it.
Right.
You know, it's often the more divisive a watch design or the look or something about it, the more kind of fervent.
Fervent?
Is that a word?
Yeah, fervent. You're talking like like how excited people get about it. Yeah, fervent would be a good word.
Because people really hate them or really love them.
Yeah. Polarizing.
Yeah, polarizing. The Marmite effect.
Ah, there you go.
I think the Monster is definitely.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, this is definitely a polarizing piece. You either love it or you hate it.
So, can we be a little bit uncouth? Let's
go ahead. Fire away, Chief.
What are the prices nowadays?
Oh yeah, you actually just look at the lid.
Yeah.
So this is $525.
Oh, so smidgen now. Well.
Yeah, and then
that's retail.
That's
right?
the retail. You know, generally with Seiko, when they come out, they have to be sold at retail. And then by the time the next release comes out, whether it be 4 to 6 months later, then generally you'll start to find that all the dealers will be discounting them officially, 20-ish% or so. So then, yeah, well under 500. Yeah.
Right.
Because most of the Pro Specs will be, after they've been out for a while, they'll be between like 370 and 400 bucks after they've been out for a decent amount of time.
Right, got it.
Like this guy. I don't know.
When did that one come out?
This is 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
So
because before this guy was the Antarctic, the Save the Ocean Monster. SR, this is what, SRP-H? Yeah, so there's SRP H75, the other one, SRP G57. They came out with a tuna and a monster. And that had, instead of penguins swimming, had penguin tracks in the snow. It was like a Arctic white dial.
That's pretty cool.
I still have that one.
They're taking the dial, doing special things with dials from Grand Seiko and putting it into this. That's interesting. They really run with that, haven't they?
They love dials. Man, they know dials. They do dials. They do dials well.
Yeah.
Really
Speaking of doing dials well.
Go ahead, please. I blabbed on enough.
No, this is the perfect segue because I think this is one of the most insanely well done dials. So my pick, obviously, is the Flightmaster SNA 411. This is a very special watch for me. The SKX has come and gone, right? I've had so many Seikos over the years, I should say, but this one is the only one that was there from before I had YouTube, before I started really collecting.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've owned
and
this.
Is that exact one, or have they come and gone?
They've come and gone.
Okay.
But I owned this exact model
about
2 or 3 years, so we're talking 13 years now.
Wow.
So for me, that's a long time with a watch.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I flip and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you flip and dip.
Yeah, and I've bought it back. I think I've bought the same watch three times now.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
This is the third time. But when I bought this was 110 bucks.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Holy smokes.
Crazy.
That is crazy. I'm selling them now because I just got them in again.
So they're not discontinued?
I think they are. I looked at the serial numbers on the
But there's
back.
a big box somewhere in
There's a big
Seiko.
I'm guessing there is. I'm getting $425 for them, and they are.
Wow. They always sell.
Selling like hotcakes.
Yeah. I've tried to do so much research on this and I cannot find the year when it came out, and who made it, who designed it.
Right.
I know the predecessor, I own the predecessor.
Which one is that?
I forget.
Is it the SND 255 or 253?
It's got the 4 subdials.
4?
Yeah. They refined that movement into this.
Okay, got
and managed to get it into the double-handed.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is the
7T62.
7T62. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I got it, don't worry.
So they managed to combine 2 of the complications into 1 subdial, and
so cool.
Yeah, so cool.
It is an amazing watch.
It is. I mean, it's good.
200 meters water resistant.
Yes.
Screw down crown.
Yes.
Screw down buttons. Alarm or second time zone if you wish.
Or second time zone, yeah. If you can figure it out.
Yeah, that's what you figure out. Chronograph.
Yeah.
Rotating slide rule. Actually, an E6B slide rule. That to me,
you don't really need anything else.
You don't. It does everything.
It does absolutely everything.
I agree with you.
Dates.
And it's a nice little tick, 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 tick.
Yeah. Yeah. I called it when I first got it Mecha Quartz, but technically it's not.
No, it's not a Mecha Quartz. Nope.
But if you press that.
It's so smooth.
Smooth, yeah.
Oh, smooth as butter.
You forget it's quartz. It's not without its faults. It's got the most ridiculously short lugs ever made on a watch I've ever seen, so putting a strap on it is an absolute nightmare. Also, it has a 21mm lug width.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. That would be my one big niggle about that.
Yeah. Thank God NDC, shout out to my friend Matthew. By coincidence, and also the original NDC has this yellow stripe that matches it.
It works, goes right through.
This is the historically accurate as used by the Marine Nationale, and it was 21mm.
Yeah.
They used to stuff it in a 20mm lug width of a Tudor Submariner when they were issued. So it just works perfectly. I mean, even the color scheme. I feel like it's a crime to put it on anything else, almost. But it's got real history.
Yeah.
Bit of controversy. Seiko started making their first pilot watches for the Kamikaze. Didn't make too many of them. This war started going badly. They had to divert resources to other things.
Didn't have to work for more than a few months.
Yeah, a few hours.
Sorry.
No,
fair taste.
That's fine. Yeah, that's why you can hardly find any of them. So don't even bother.
That's actually kind of true. I guess. Yeah. That is.
I've seen pictures.
Okay. That's actually very interesting to talk about collectible.
Yeah, in 1983 they came out with the, what was it, the 7A28, which is a massively important, the first analog quartz chronograph movement.
Analog quartz, got it.
Chronograph.
And when was that? 83? Okay.
It was in a James Bond film. It was issued by the RAF until right into the 90s. A lot of moving parts, mechanical parts, so it was very easy to service. And that's why the Brits, it was accurate, could measure some 10th, I think 100th or 10th, I forget. I'll put it on the screen. Really, really cool. And those are the ancestors of this.
Yes, okay.
So you got lineage, you got the heritage brand, you got everything you could possibly want. Is it worth 425 bucks?
Before I answer that question, I was going to ask you, I don't want to interrupt you. When do you think it came out? If you had to take a wild guess.
I think it's the same period as
2000-ish.
As your late 90s, early 2000s as your Monster, because I feel there was a lot of watches around that period that Seiko were just putting out. They were just like...
Yeah, I called them a spaghetti factory.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that I can't find anything out about this kind of proves, if anybody does know, please, please, please share in the comments. So now time for a quick little addendum to this video. Some of you die-hard Seiko flighty fans may remember a video I made from donkeys years ago exploring how Seiko acquired the name Flightmaster from Omega. In fact, the name is the only bit of history I could find out when digging online for clues about the backstory of my favourite Seiko. You see, thanks to our good friend Andrew, and a shout out to you, sir, who loaned in this beautiful example of the Omega you're seeing right now, I was able to find out a little bit more about how Seiko came to own the rights to use Flightmaster on their own watches. The Omega was developed specifically for pilots in the very late 1960s as they tried to fill the demand for purpose-built tool watches to be used in the then burgeoning aviation industry. However, launched in 1969, it unfortunately coincided with the race for the first automatic chronograph by various Swiss rivals against Seiko, and of course the start of the quartz crisis. As a result, sales of the Flightmaster were extremely poor. It also had to compete at the same time against its stablemate, the more iconic Speedmaster, which post-moon mission would be catapulted into even higher out-of-this-world heights, or should I say stratosphere, of fame and status. Despite being a super retroliciously cool, insanely macho and an uber-functional design, along with even winning a government contract to be supplied to X-33 pilots, its lifespan was very short indeed. The 910 and 911 movements used were based on the excellent Lemania-made caliber 861 from the Speedmaster, but then they were modified with extra modular complications, all in a whopping 44mm jumbo case, which was gargantuan for the time, and still is even by today's standards. This was part of a number of expensive flops for Omega, who squandered millions into researching and developing it. And during the 1970s, things, as we all know, got really bad for the Swiss. Omega was no exception. By the 1980s, Omega was swallowed up by a new flourishing horological superpower, the Swatch Group. And just like most brand acquisitions, any extra fat was trimmed off. We can assume that since no Seiko Flightmaster existed before Seiko introduced the world's first analog quartz chronograph in 1983, it was around this time that Omega sold the rights to the name to the new Japanese masters of the watch industry. In the same way, Breitling sold off the rights and thousands of surplus spare parts to Zinn with their Navitimer, in exchange for a quick cash injection to help keep Breitling afloat. To further corroborate this, at the same time, Seiko was buying up many European brands left, right and centre, Yema perhaps being the most famous example. So there you have it. Now let's get back to the conversation.
So back to your question. So just forgetting everything you know about it and when it came out and you bought it for $100 and something.
Yeah.
If you marketed this today, Seiko comes out with this new watch.
Yeah.
It's an analog chronograph. It's 200 meters water resistant. Has an alarm. Has screw down crown, screw down pushers. Doesn't have sapphire. That would have been nice. What would you be willing to pay, America or world? And I think the world would. I think the world would pay it.
Pay 425.
Yeah, I do believe so. I do believe it's worth it because it literally does. It's got every complication that normal people need.
Right.
You want a chronograph in your daily life? It's got it. It's got a date, and it's got an alarm. And it's 200 meters water resistant, so you can go from pool to beach to office because it looks nice. Yeah. Because it's normally served on the bracelet. Yeah. Just so stock is bracelet.
Put it on a leather strap. It's
beautiful.
Dressy. Yeah. It's amazingly slender because it's quartz.
It just works. It's a nice watch. And actually, you can get sapphires for them. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you
I actually have one. Yeah. I've never done it. I've never seen one with it on it, but I sell crystals that will fit
I don't mind the hard licks. Oh
no, it doesn't bother me.
I like the distortions. It's kind of charming.
I like it too. So yeah, I think it's worth it.
Yeah,
I do absolutely.
What do you guys think? Fast forward to the pandemic lockdown. Sorry that I don't want to go back there certainly, but when we were at home, you know, stuck at home, we rewatched the whole Sopranos box set from start to finish. Amazing show. And I did a video on watch spotting in The Sopranos.
Oh, nice.
Lo and behold, let me get his name correct. Amazing actor. His name is Arthur J. Nascarella. I hope I pronounced it right. He plays Carlo. He's wearing a Flightmaster.
Is he really?
Yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And I
imagine how happy you must have been.
Yeah.
You must have been thrilled.
Pausing this.
Yeah.
And I made the video next week. I was like, right,
and your wife's like, can we just watch the damn show, please?
We gotta call the exterminator. These are rat turds.
What's up, Patsy and him say? There they are. The pirates up with a shoot. The brigands up with a show.
A few minutes later.
We wait till the store closes, we get them out.
Cut them up in the work area.
No more of that DNA.
So guys, check it out. What's really interesting is in real life, I was looking for interviews of him.
Okay, see what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Right. Or was it a prop?
Exactly. It was definitely a prop, but what's strange, in real life, he wears a Navi timer, or at least I saw him wearing a Navi timer.
Oh.
Did this rub off on him and he was like, I kind of want to...
Right.
Or did he choose that watch? Like how...
Right. Yeah.
You know, because obviously there's a lot of Navi timer vibes. I think that's what Seiko were going for.
Right.
I don't believe in coincidences like that.
Yeah.
I think something's
so rubbed
going
off on it. You always wonder when you watch the movie, was that a prop or was it not?
Yeah.
I just watched a movie. I just saw a movie, an Italian comic. My wife likes him, Sebastian Maniscalco or something. He's got a movie out.
Red name rings a bell, yeah.
So we went to go see it. I haven't been to the movies in a long time. And watched the movie, guy's wearing a Panerai, and he's supposed to be poor, or like not have a lot of money. And I was like, well, that's not a prop. That doesn't really fit. It's not really fit in the, I thought that was
That's crazy.
We always wondered, does a person, like Brando, is it your watch or was a prop that they gave you? And it's very interesting.
I guess there's so many fake Panerais around, it could have been.
True, I guess it could have been. But it just didn't fit the story,
No, I agree. What else? Oh yeah, there's the mythical white version. The
SNA 413.
413.
I will own one.
You own one?
No, I will.
You will?
One day. This is actually, this color scheme, I got inspiration from the 413.
Wow.
Because I also, there's another one of these that's black and yellow, inspiration from that for the color scheme. There's also, have you ever seen the 414? I used to sell the 414.
The gold one.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, I knew it.
I know. There's something.
I think it's ghastly.
Yeah, I know you do. I remember.
Yeah, I think we discussed this, right?
Yeah.
Because I was talking to one of my suppliers, and they're like, "No, I can get you the 414," and I'm like, I Google it, and I'm like, "Oh." Yeah. And I got it, and I'm like, "Well, I guess." And people bought it.
Yeah.
How black is it dial, in full gold. It's just like it looks in the pictures. Ghastly.
Yeah.
But I think those are the only three that I know of.
Yeah,
the 11, the 13, and the 14.
I'm a sucker for a gold watch. I mean, I like it.
Maybe one day then.
Yeah. There is an automatic.
Oh, is there really?
Yes.
Go
it's
ahead.
very rare. Shout out to my good friend, a hobby of hours, as in hours, minutes.
HOURS.
Yeah. Very cool name for a channel. He actually brought it. We had a meetup at the Moya event. He brought one.
Really?
So it's the first time I saw it. Has a power reserve. It's quite big because the movement. I forget with the column wheel.
The NE88.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
their newer chronograph movement.
Yeah,
it's super thick.
Yeah, it's a beast, and I can see why they never made more of them because it's like, it's a serious bit of kit.
Yeah.
But it does exist because I always used to think, oh, I wish this was automatic.
Yeah.
And then I saw the automatic and I'm like, nah.
Nah, maybe not.
No.
Stick to quartz.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Stick to this. So yeah, I guess these are our favorite. Is there anything else to say?
No, good job, Seiko. Keeping it
good
alive.
job, Seiko. What can they learn from these watches? I think.
Taking risks.
Yeah.
Pays off.
Yeah.
I mean, have they had flops? I'm sure they have, but you know.
Do you know of any?
Oh, give me a second. I don't think so. I think if the company is big enough and the marketing is good enough, because I mean, you never think that this is polarizing, as you said,
yeah.
And it took off.
Yeah.
It really took off. Yeah, I don't.
Where would you like to see the monster go next?
I love it the way it is. I don't change, because if you change it, to me, it's no longer a monster. You know, these things change. You can look at the 6309 and you can look at today's turtles and you can say, yeah, they're related. I can tell they're related.
I did a mock-up of what I'd like to see.
Oh, yeah?
With a Flightmaster 2. And I posted it on Instagram, and my barber, he was looking for that watch, and he got so angry with me. I had to explain it doesn't exist. And he's like, yes, but I want that one. It's like it's not real.
Yeah.
It's like, do you not read the description?
No, people don't
Nobody
read.
reads
I will
the
tell you,
description.
people don't read. They look at pictures and then they're done.
He was so angry with me. It's like,
While he's cutting your hair.
yeah.
He didn't Van Gogh you, huh?
Yeah, no, shout out to Diego. Guys, what is your favorite Seiko watch under $500? Where would you like to see the Monster go next? Where would you like to see the Flightmaster go next? Thank you once again, Marc.
Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Oh, and I must thank Marc for the, what was it?
Sponsorship.
Yes, well, how do I put
the
it?
production of the video.
Yes. We also must thank Marc for the, we also must
Go.
We also must thank Marc for the I can't bloody do it.
Sponsoring the production of the video.
Yeah, what he said. Okay. All right. Don't forget to like this video. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Ciao.